I'm happy to be joined today with Thomas Stangowitz, who is an investment advisor with Synergy Credit Union. And Thomas, we have an exciting subject to talk about today, heading into tax season, talking about investments and savings. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Well, Thomas, let's talk about RRSPs. I know this is a common thing. A lot of people have them, but I'll get you to explain just off the top here, what is an RRSP?
Yeah, so what an RRSP is, it stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan. And it's basically, as the name suggests, a vehicle for people to save for their retirement. And so the way it works is you contribute into your RRSP, and as a result of that, you get a tax deduction, which hopefully helps to lower the amount of taxes that you need to pay. Hopefully getting you a tax refund, but at least at the very least, reducing the amount of taxes that are owed to the government. And within that RRSP, you pick and choose from a variety of different investments. So you can either have it just as a savings, like a high interest savings plan. You can have it as a term deposit or a GIC. Or you can have mutual funds, or you can even have individual stocks. And then within that RRSP, your savings will grow tax sheltered over time. And then when it comes time to retire, you withdraw the money from your RRSP. It's 100% taxable in the year that you retire it as income. So the idea behind it is, in your working years, hopefully you're in a higher tax bracket, and in your retirement years, you're in a lower tax bracket, so that you're paying less tax when it comes out than it saved you in the beginning.
So if you're in a position now where you don't have an RRSP, but you'd like to get one, how do you start that process?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go to your financial institution, hopefully Synergy Credit Union, but if not, whoever you're dealing with, and they'll be able to help you get started.
And are they only for retirement? Is that the only thing RRSPs are used for?
The vast majority of people just use them for retirement savings, but they can be used for other things. So if you're deciding to go back to school, some post-secondary education, you can use it to fund that. Or if you're a first-time home buyer, you can withdraw from your RSP to help for the down payment on your house. So there are other options as well.
And what about just in general, the saving for retirement? Are there other investment options that you can look at?
One of the most common ones that we see now, besides RRSPs, is the tax-free savings account, or TFSA. And those are used, people will use both of those, but sometimes it just makes sense for people to use one or the other.
And what is a tax-free savings account? I've heard a lot about that as well. You hear that term, on a lot of commercials and a lot of financial literature. So what exactly is a TFSA?
Yeah, so TFSA is available for anybody over the age of 18. And there's no deadline, so you don't have to, contribute for a certain date or anything like that. But the nice thing about them is that you can put them in similar savings as you do with, or similar investments as you do with an RSP. So once again, it can be mutual funds, stocks, etc. You don't get the deduction when it goes into the RSP, or sorry, into the tax-free savings account like you do with an RRSP. But then it grows tax sheltered in there, and then when you go to pull it out, you don't have to pay any tax whatsoever. So that's really the beauty of the tax-free savings account.
And is that the main difference then between that and an RRSP, or are there other differences?
No, that's the main difference is the tax treatment, really. So RSPs, you get that tax break going in, but have to pay tax coming out. TFSA, no tax break going in, no tax coming out.
Thomas, how do I know what type of investment is right for me, or anybody who's looking? It's very confusing for people who are not financially literate. I happen to be one of those people. So how do you know what's right for you?
So I always recommend, talk to an advisor, because like I said earlier, sometimes it makes sense for people to take advantage of both the RRSPs and the tax-free savings accounts. Sometimes for certain people, it doesn't make sense to do RSPs at all. So talk to your advisor, and they'll be able to tell you, what makes the most sense for you at this stage of your life.
So when it comes to RSPs and TFSAs, is there anything else we should know, like contribution limits and deadlines for when they can be considered for your tax year, that sort of thing? Do you have that information?
Yeah, so we are we're getting closer and closer to the tax deadline to contribute, which is March 1st. So you have to contribute into your RSP by March 1st if you want to take advantage of that tax deduction for the 2022 tax year. As I said earlier, there's no deadline for the TFSAs. They have increased the contribution limit for this year, so it is now $6,500. As long as you're over the age of 18, you can take advantage of that. And if you haven't taken advantage of a tax-free savings account yet, and you were over the age of 18 when the program started on January 1st, 2009, you would have a cumulative total of $88,000 of contribution room that you can take advantage of.
So what if you are a little bit late starting at contributing to this? Like if you're in, your 30s or excuse me, into your 40s, is it too late to start contributing?
It's never too late. I mean, ideally, the sooner the better. If we can get into that habit of when we're younger, even just putting aside $25 a month, $50 a month, whatever it is, just to get started and get used to that habit. But we can't turn back the clock. So get started as soon as you can. It's never too late, but the sooner the better for sure.
All right, Thomas. Well, thank you for joining me today. And one last thing, there is a workshop coming up for people who would like to get more information on all of this. So where and when is that, and how do people get more information?
Yeah, so we're excited to be hosting a financial planning seminar and workshop on January 21st. And so it's basically we're teaming with MNP as well as a Reverend Law Office. And we are going to be putting on like I said, a workshop that will help you will help develop a retirement plan for you. And so we'll be giving you advice, whether you are planning for retirement or whether you're already in retirement. Free workshop, and you can find out the best ways to make sure if you're on course to hit retirement, or the best ways to make sure your money's going to last you through retirement. January 21st, you can sign up on Synergy Credit Union's website through the Wealth tab. It's available to the public, so whether you're a member of the credit union or a non-member, you're free to join us. Seating is limited though, so I would urge you to sign up now.
All right, Thomas. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Stacey. Take care.